Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
And I love pumpkin pie.
Okay, this is Screenplay Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week. Go over the horror news, and Derek tells us his favorite desserts for no particular reason.
No. There's a history. When I was younger, I was ill and I ate apple pie. And then pumpkin pie. And I got sick. So from that point on, my brain associated pumpkin pie with being sick. And so I just had some apple pie over the Thanksgiving holiday, and I'm like,
pumpkin pie.
Yeah, pumpkin pie. Thank you. Apple pie is my absolute favorite. But
I just ate apple pie.
Did you?
Just now.
So I've rediscovered my love for pumpkin.
Yeah, pumpkin pie is delicious.
Yeah, it's
pumpkin
good.
pie is the best. Yeah. I know Derek's been a fan of apple pie since he was a teenager, and he warmed it up that one time.
Yeah. They made that famous movie about it.
Yeah,
they did.
Based off a true story. It says Derek Lemaster's story.
I contacted him about copyright infringement. I never saw a nickel of that money.
Yeah.
Tons of bees.
Yeah, you were screwed like a pie. So how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm good.
Good. I am too. I'm feeling great. We have a interesting film to talk about tonight. It is definitely an interesting addition to the Friday the 13th saga. Let's put it that way. And I can't wait to dive into it. A new beginning. But is it? We'll find out.
You won't believe when we get to it where I want to start.
Oh, we'll talk about it. But first, we got to hit up some horror news. And guys, I don't have a lot of horror news, but what I've got is semi-interesting because not a lot's happened. So let's start with this. We have some new casting for Scream 7. So as we know, that Nev's returning. We know that we have Isabel May as playing her daughter. Now we have Celeste O'Connor has signed on from Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire. But we don't have any news on who she's playing yet. Everything's being kept under wraps. But the good news is they're filling out this cast. So it's happening, Lydia. You can't run from it forever.
I know, dang it.
Sometimes you got to face your fears.
Like Derek in Pumpkin Pie.
Exactly.
Lesson learned. It's always worth it to watch these movies, even if they traumatized me as a child.
Really, if you think about it, my story was a metaphor for Lydia. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Lydia used to make you puke, and then you started hanging out with her, and you're like, oh, she's okay.
Hey, I told you not to tell her that.
Yeah. Ghostface used to make me faint, and now I have to watch Scream on a podcast.
Yeah, you do, because we're up to part 3,
will.
baby. We'll be on part 3 here soon, which is not scary, so you'll be fine.
It's true.
Next bit of horror news here. This is really cool, guys. I'm excited about this. A movie that we've reviewed in the past, Kevin Williamson's Sick, is hitting 4K with new extras from Shout Factory. That was a really good one. We really all enjoyed it.
I don't remember it whatsoever. I don't remember it.
That was Jamie's pick.
Sick?
It was. Sick.
I gotta look this up. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? You don't remember it? It's the movie that takes place during COVID.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. I thought it might be that, but I couldn't remember if that was the name of it.
Yeah, it's sick. It's a good movie. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
That was really good. Had some really killer set pieces.
It's about COVID, right?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
COVID. It has that great set piece. My favorite's that bit on the raft. That's so cool. It's a great bit. So yeah, that's hitting the 4K waves. I don't know if we have a release date yet, but it's coming out soon. So that's really cool. I'm gonna buy that one. I really enjoyed that. So guys, this is some weird stuff. Did you guys know? I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but they are remaking The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
I feel like I heard that.
Interesting.
So do you know Hands That Rocks the Cradle, Lydia?
I don't think I've seen that one because I think I've always kind of confused that one with like Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, they're nothing alike.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I don't know, just going so long without seeing either of them, they kind of have like a similar title.
Yeah, they're both about babies, essentially. Yeah. Derek, you remember Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
Oh, I do.
It was
Rebecca
very
and I will go way
formative.
back.
Yes, it was very formative for Derek and I in our young lives. We
Well,
get to see.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go. You finish.
Okay, I was gonna say we get to see Rebecca De Mornay in her two great assets in that film.
So here's the thing. She made a movie called When God Created Women.
Mhm.
And that was the first time that I saw her, and my heart was captured.
Yeah,
And if you
so
haven't watched it, it's a great watch. Watch it by yourself.
Jesus, Derek.
We might cut that part.
No, it's staying for sure. Everybody must know your perv ways.
Whatever.
It's no secret to us, so the world must know. Hey, I watched it too. That's what I'm saying. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I remember being a very young kid and seeing it, and she's like naked quite a few times, and one time she's trying to she plays a psychotic nanny who's trying to replace the mother.
Right.
And so she's like trying to breastfeed a baby that's not hers.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Crossing the line, some would
Well,
say.
Yeah, I would say. But I remember seeing her breast and be like, oh, so I like girls, I found out. But anyway, we got some. So this is crazy. So Makia Monroe and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are starring in this movie. It's directed by Michelle Garza Cuervo, and Martin Starr has just been added to the cast, which you guys all know him as. He's in the Marvel movies. He's the guy, Spider-Man's professor in the Marvel's MCU. You know what I'm talking about? The nerdy guy with the glasses. Okay. Yeah. He's Martin Starr. So he is joining the cast as well. So this update, Monroe will play the nanny, and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead will be the mother. And Raul Castillo will be the husband. So that's interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that. We might have to do the original Hand That Rocks the Cradle because it's more of a thriller than a straight up horror movie, but definitely one of those 90s thrillers. Like Single White Female, it's another one we've got to do. It's also one of those 90s thrillers. Remember that one, Derek?
What was it?
Single White Female?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Bridget Fonda?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll have to do that one too. And then lastly, guys, I Know What You Did Last Summer officially enters production. So, Freddie Prinze Jr. is confirmed to reprise his role, and obviously, we're thinking that Jennifer Love Hewitt is she's in talks to return. But filming just started.
I just pictured them like being like elderly characters. Like they put them in like old age makeup. I don't know.
I remember what I did that summer.
Yeah.
No, they you know, they still both look incredible. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that wraps up the horror news. Guys, picture it. It's 1985. Well, actually, let's go back. Let's wind the clocks back a year. It's 1984. You're ending the Friday the 13th franchise. The final chapter is being released, right? The box office receipts come out, and they're buffo box office. Huge. These movies cost pennies to make, and they bring in millions. So, huge success. So they promised us this is the final Friday. But then you hear the rumblings. Oh, it's not the end. But it's the end of Jason. Jason is dead. We're going to keep our promise. But it's a new beginning. Or is Jason dead? So, fast forward to 1985, and we have the release of the final chapter. So, we literally had 1 year of it being the final, like not even a year off. So, in 84, the final chapter, 85, a new beginning. So, guys, is this either of your guys' first time watching the final chapter? Or, I'm sorry, nope. A new beginning?
Nope.
Of course not. Do you guys remember your first times watching this?
I mean,
or at least an early memory of watching this, even if it's not the first?
For sure. It was on Channel 4. That's true. It was on probably Wish TV 4 back in the day. And dear God, I mean, the number of times it was on like TNT. Turner Network Television back in the day.
It was on TNT a lot. Yep. Do you remember?
Oh man, dude, you had to go this. You had to go here. So I remember walking into Video West and the smell. And then you'd walk over and they had all of the Friday the 13th lined up, and they had the little tickets, the blue tickets for new releases, the white tickets for old releases, and the yellow tickets. I don't remember what the fuck they did.
Video games.
And they were video games. Yeah. And then they were hung on nails, which is the appropriate way for you to check out a video. Just don't fart. For the love of God, don't fart next to a stranger and your brother's next to you.
But
don't do it.
Lydia, do you remember the first time or an early memory of watching this? Or did you just watch these more recently?
I just watched these recently. I think you let me borrow like the box set of everything that I needed to catch up on. And I just had like a huge marathon and watched all of them. And then I think I did that again. So this is probably my third watch this year of this movie.
Oh, well, hey, there you go. I don't remember necessarily the very first time I watched this, but I remember one of the early times I watched this. We went to my grandma's house and nanny's, and we rented a bunch of horror movies, and this was one of them we rented because I think it was one of the only Fridays that were in. So we rented this, and I remember vividly the barn scene at the end and stuff. I remember us watching it, and I remember the barn scene because I remember the review and being like, "What the fuck?" Even at a young age, I'm like, "What the fuck?" So yes, this has been in my life for a long time. It's actually one of my least watched Friday the 13th movies for obvious reasons. But I've watched it, over a dozen times. I've seen all of these movies dozens and dozens of times. Like you, Lydia, after I bought the Shout Factory Ultimate release, I went through and watched all of these movies. I mean, even Jason Goes to Hell I watched, which we'll have to get to eventually. Unfortunately, we'll have to get there. But yeah, so it's been in my life forever. Derek, you said you wanted to start at the beginning, I'm going to imagine.
Yeah, but not where you think. The cover art for this movie. WTF.
Which cover art are we talking
The
about?
one that is
There's
not
several.
Jason's hockey mask, man.
Oh, that's just the weird hockey, the white faced one. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in in the movie, or not the movie theater, in the movie
Video
store.
store. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I looked it up because I was like, this is the one with the weird non-Jason hockey mask. Like, I don't understand. I was hoping that you would you would dispo. No, still not for I'm still not pronouncing. You would bestow upon us the wisdom of why they chose that mask. Hopefully,
Well,
I don't
have like a behind the scenes story, but I'm thinking, if I'm putting on my marketing cap, they use that mask to show that it's a new beginning. It's a hockey mask, so it's similar, but it's to show, hey, this is a new beginning. This is different. It's different. It's not. It's the same. It's the same.
Well, not only that, but they revert back to in the movie the old.
Yeah,
mask,
in the movie, it's the regular
right
mask,
choice.
just with blue chevrons instead of red.
That is really strange.
Yeah, it's like a weird,
it's like a waffle iron.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Garth wears in Wayne's World when they're playing hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. Game on, car. Yep.
That's
although
strange.
I will say, it had been so long since I've seen this movie. The twist at the end I had like bits and pieces, but I didn't remember that part.
Oh, that's the part that
the very, very, very end.
Oh, the very, very not the killer reveal.
Oh no, not the very, very, very end. The very, very end. You see what I'm saying?
No, we'll talk about it when we get there because you're confusing me. But anyway, yeah. So the opening of this movie is so. Here's the thing about this movie. It's not the best. I'll just put it out there. It's not the best. But the opening of the movie has Corey Feldman back for a cameo, and we see a dream sequence of Tommy Jarvis, and we don't know it's a dream sequence yet, but we see him visiting the grave of Jason. You start to kind of quickly realize this dream sequence because it's just all super illogical. Like, he has just a wooden grave, and he's buried 2 feet in the ground. And he has a machete in his hand, or they buried him with his mask and machete. So, obviously that stuff. But so what do you guys think of that opening? Before I get into some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I thought that opening rocked, man. It was slightly picking up where you left off, but yeah, I really liked it a lot. And then it wasn't real.
What'd you think, Lydia?
Yeah, I think it's fun. Fun, but it's like it's weird because it makes absolutely no sense. And then it just is like, I guess it's just a way. Like, did they film that before?
So they filmed that while he was shooting Goonies.
Okay.
Around the time he was shooting Goonies, they shot it in Corey Feldman's backyard. So
really?
they just set up and shot this scene in the backyard because he was filming the Goonies and he couldn't be involved in the sequel to Friday the 13th. And then when they rewrote the script, they changed the stuff because here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to just put it out there first and foremost. Tommy Jarvis in this movie sucks.
Yeah.
He's awful. He's a nothing character. He sucks. Also, in the span of a year, he aged 12.
Yeah.
Like, that's
this was supposed to be a year later?
No, I think it's supposed to be a couple years later, but either way, he's aged. That's a 35-year-old man. That's a 35-year-old man playing Tommy Jarvis.
Was he really 35? I don't think he was 35.
No, he's not really 35, but it's like the Chris O'Donnell situation.
Really early 20s,
right?
Yeah.
It's the Chris O'Donnell situation. He's clearly way too old for the part that he... And he's just a nothing character. What do you guys think about Tommy?
No, poorly written. The actor was not great. He did have an excellent fireman's carry. I will say that.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, that's what I got to say about it. It was a poorly written character.
What do you think, Lydia?
Yeah, I agree. It's such a disservice to Corey Feldman's version of the character. It's like not even the same person at all, which is fair to an extent, but not to this extent.
Dude, it's not even the same character.
Trauma can do something to you, but yeah, you're right.
It's not even the same character that's in the sequel. You know what I mean? Like he gets way better.
The next Tommy Jarvis we get is fucking rocks.
The best. Yeah. But really, kind of all the characters in this movie are fucking terrible. If I'm going to be honest, they're all horrible characters.
You know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have
Reggie.
That character.
Except for Reggie the Reckless.
Yeah,
Reggie Reckless is the fucking best.
Reggie is, yeah. You know what? I'm going to even throw it out there. That crazy ass hillbilly mom, kind of connected with her. Reminded me of my aunt.
Dude, that woman is one of the most annoying characters in any movie.
No, she stole every scene she was in.
Yeah, because she's in a completely different film. It's
she is. She doesn't fit in this movie.
She's at like a 45 on a 10 scale. And that's what I'm saying. This movie, we'll talk about it when we get more into like the critiques of the film. But yeah, like so
I couldn't figure out what time period we were even in because there's all these like people from the 50s. Like
so I don't understand that we'll get to
I was like, wait, what year is it?
We'll talk about those guys when we get there. That's actually a good
that
point.
Scene where that guy had to go take a shit in the woods without
paper.
What did he use?
We'll get there.
Not just shaking his hand at the party, let me tell you.
Be patient. We'll get there because first we've got to talk about the inciting incident, which is little fun fact. You know, Matt, the lead, you know, the head of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is, right? No. That's the guy that chases Indy at the beginning of The Last Crusade.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
He's the one who says,
you lost today, kid. That doesn't mean you have to like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a Bill S. Preston Esquire. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. That was more Ted Theodore Logan, if you want to be honest.
Was it?
Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is.
God, you can't even get your references correct.
Whoa.
But man, like how good, I mean, side tangent. I mean, we'll talk about this movie, but how fucking great is Last Crusade? I mean, just
oh my god,
movies ever made.
One
just talking about it.
Yeah, that one and Temple of Doom are the ones I've watched the most.
I love Temple of Doom, but yeah.
They're all the best. They're all the best.
Temple of Doom was my go-to, but yeah, the
Last Crusade hits
fantastic.
me in the heart a lot. It's a pretty good one. Like it father-son stuff. It's great. But so let's talk about these characters and let's talk about this inciting incident because all of the characters are kind of nothing characters. But
every one of them, like I feel like this breaks a movie rule because there's no character you connect with really, because you're not connecting with
Reggie.
Tommy because he has no fucking personality whatsoever.
Yeah, he's a walking board, and then Reggie just because he's funny and he's a kid, he's the one you connect with the most.
Yeah, he just wasn't in the movie enough.
No,
but his brother was.
We'll get to Demon. We'll get to Demon. Quit trying to jump the gun, Derek. We'll get there. First, we've got to talk about Philip Rivers fucking cutting logs. Boy, that guy doesn't look like Philip Rivers, Derek.
I'd have to look at him again. He was wearing a hat and it was dark.
He wasn't wearing a hat. What are you talking about? It was
the car scene?
And he's cutting logs.
Oh, that guy! I thought when you said cutting logs, I thought you were talking about the guy who took a shit in the woods.
No.
The whole reason that this movie even
the inciting incident. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Philip Rivers. That's Philip Rivers. But so first we get introduced to Joey, who's easily one of the most offensive characters in the history of fucking cinema. Guys, how do you feel about this whole thing of him, the chocolate bars and then him getting axed to death?
I like it.
So I don't, because it's terrible, but it's fine. It's fun.
It's fine. I think it's fun. I mean, watch it 3 times in a year and it starts to sink in. You're like, okay, I get it.
No, there's nothing to get.
You're like, I don't know if I would have went that far, but I can I'll give the guy a pass.
Well, yeah, that's the best part is there's just like no escalation to it. He's just like, you're not, just forget about it. You're not getting my candy bar.
Well, you could just tell, like, these guys have been dealing with this guy for how long did he say he was there? Like months, like so many months.
For months.
8 months. Or something?
Even the way that he got mad at that guy was so innocent and like silly. You're just like, I feel like that might have been an overreaction.
It's definitely an overreaction, obviously. But what's hilarious about it is all of Joey's dialogue is horrible, obviously. But what's funny about it is it's setting up. It's all backstory. It's all exposition. Well, since I was, being an orphan and all, and not knowing anybody, and being here, you're like, okay. And then after so let me tell you this. As a little kid, I probably didn't pick up on the things. Watching this as an adult, the fact that Roy is the killer is the most obvious thing in the history of the world.
Yeah.
The shot selections where they just linger on him for no reason.
His face.
Dude, this is the best. And then we fade out, and we're just like, oh, well, that's the fucking killer, obviously. Like,
yeah, it really is.
No, but what really throws you off is he's not bald.
Yeah. Well, it somehow it manages to throw you off because I mean, I watched this with Jake this time and he hadn't seen it and he had no idea. But he did comment about how we were lingering on that guy's face and it just didn't click with it. So yeah, it is pretty obvious once you know. It's like he's literally looking you right in the face while he's upset about this kid.
The next bit is so when we'll get there. We're there now, Derek. We'll talk about the log cutter, the turd cutter guy. These two guys, first of all, like you said, Lydia, they're dressed like they're from the 50s. I don't know if they're supposed to be like
they're greasers or what's going on with them. But they're just, kind of. They're just the fucking. There's characters.
They're super lame. Yeah, they're super lame.
They're annoying. They're not that funny.
No, they're that one guy, the shitter. He is like overacting like it's never like you've never seen.
It's like a cartoon.
Doing his bits.
It was like a cartoon,
I was kind of thinking like this movie does not take itself seriously at all.
Which is somewhat fine, but it's also the sleaziest movie of the entire franchise by a large stretch. There's just like this gross grime on the movie. Yeah. That's because of director Danny Steinman.
To the the opening scene where they're taking him to the camp. And the guy in the front is looking at a Playboy or whatever.
Yeah, Hustler. It looks like
that in a car.
And then he goes,
on the job.
Right after to the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny Steinman was a porn director before this, and it kind of comes out. And a lot of his sensibility comes out.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would have never guessed that.
So
Shocking.
Here's the thing: what do you guys think of the demise of the greasers? I mean, the scene itself is not great, but like I like the idea of him getting. So here's the thing. It's kind of cool that he gets a road flare in the mouth, but how would that happen?
That you can see the flare like through his face,
the dummy head is awful. Yeah, the dummy head is awful. But I mean, just physically, how would that happen? Because it's not Jason grabbing you and forcing it. It's this guy walking up and just going.
Yeah.
I could do it.
So that's an interesting death, but the other guy's death is not that interesting, right? Just a throat slit.
I was like, I didn't even remember it. So
yeah, throat slit. It's not the best. But my favorite is the crime scene afterwards when Roy's all there, like Chipper, fucking picking up the body, and the sheriff's like, "What's going on here?" or whatever, and he's like, "You talking to me, Sheriff? I thought you were talking to me." And you're like, "My God." Come on, man. No, you're fine, Roy. They make sure to say his name multiple times. You're fine, Roy. Everything's cool, Roy. And plot-wise, there's not anything going on in this one. Nothing at all, plot-wise. We have the hillbilly ladies, which let's talk about Hillbilly Lady and Junior. Ethel and Junior. They are horribly obnoxious.
Horribly.
Especially Junior. Dear God, that actor.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. That's right, Mom. Like, oh, Lord.
And then she's just always like eating that soup, and he's like, "This is the best soup I've ever tasted, Ma." The best
he
soup.
just repeats everything she says back to her, and she just hates it.
And she hates him. It's so that's what's wild about it. She's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Junior."
Yeah,
which
is a great line.
Yeah, she calls him a dildo. Here's a funny behind the scenes story.
I got a bomb on me, Sheriff. I do. Don't come any closer.
Here's a funny behind the scenes story. That actress brought her own wig to the role.
Oh.
So that's a wig, but it was a wig that was gifted to her by Burt Reynolds. So it was like an important wig to her. And they messed it up when they threw it in the soup.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That would be upsetting.
Yeah.
That's why you don't bring your own wig to a
Nope, don't do it. Don't do it to a horror movie.
And also, why did they cast her? I mean,
I thought she was pretty good.
She did good, but like, why wasn't she so much older?
Yeah, I don't know. I also don't know why they wrote that character to exist.
Yeah,
that's another question we should ask.
Like, I mean, I could have seen it if it was kind of like a Texas Chainsaw, kind of like backwards, freaky people that you got to worry about now. But she's just like, they're so goofy, and she is just as young as her son somehow.
Dude, in the funniest, so in that scene, that dude shows up and is like, I haven't eaten in 2 days. And he's just there to add to the body count and to be a red herring for 3 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally, that's his entire plot purpose.
When she says he's the ugliest man, I laughed so hard.
I was like, he looks like a normal guy to me. He's just a little dirty. You are like dirty and horrible yourself, woman. What are you talking about?
It's like, that is one ugly man.
That's ugly. You're ugly too, Junior. I know I'm ugly. So weird. Junior reminds me of Jade.
I feel like they do have a lot of similarities for sure.
They have some attributes. They share attributes.
Yeah.
The anger, releasing all the anger on the dirt bike. Does that seem like?
Yeah, that's just hilarious, man.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's another great part. The next kill is the woods kill. And this one actually is really good. This is like a really good kill, I think. These two kills. So in the movie, Lydia, I'm going to talk to you about this. So this sex scene in the woods, it lasts 30 seconds, if that, right? Like, it's super short.
Best 30 seconds of my life.
Like, they kind of start to kiss and stuff, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go freshen up. And it's one of
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
super quick. So apparently they filmed like in the original edit, this was like a 6-minute sex scene.
Uh-oh.
Like just a straight
6
up
minutes?
6-minute softcore porno.
Yeah.
That Danny Steinman said he filmed a porno in those woods. And they made him cut it down to a Pepsi commercial, is how he put it. It was like, yeah, because you're making Friday the 13th, my guy.
Not
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, Jason goes in deep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say, like, watching all the other movies, like, I mean, you have like such a range of characters, but like for the most part, they're still like pretty sexy, and this was the least sexy of all the sex scenes so far, I think. Unless I'm missing some, like, I probably am.
Well, I mean, they're both very attractive people, and she's topless for quite a bit.
It's not their looks; it's the way they're acting.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Like it doesn't like. It's not like, ooh, this is
not
like,
steamy.
I
want
to watch this. It's like, oh my god, is this over yet? Like, can they get killed already?
Can you imagine 6 minutes of it?
No.
Yeah. So. I mean, I would like to see some of that maybe deleted footage, but
well, like they run in, like the way they run into the woods, I'm just like, you lost me because it's so dumb.
Oh, all of it's dumb. They put the blanket down, then they just immediately start getting. It's like,
yeah,
why are you just doing it in the middle of these woods?
I think the difference is from the other movies too, is that it, obviously they're all like, camp counselors and like. Teenagers that are sneaking around, and that's like fun and exciting. And this is like not that.
Well, also they're just
an asylum kind of situation of like,
and they're horribly underdeveloped. All the characters are,
but
they look great. Both of them look great. But they have the best death scene. Deborah Voorhees' death scene is one of my favorites in the movie, and his is one of my favorites. She gets the they filmed way more is cut down by the MPAA, but her getting her eyes chomped with the hedge clippers is a great kill.
Yeah.
And then him getting his head squashed with the tree, his eyes.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite kills. That's super creative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the logistics of it would work, but it's fine. Like, how would he get that around him? That's fine. It's a great kill. What do you think of that kill, Derek?
Well, I agree. Like, I don't know. Maybe I watched a different version of you guys because, like, most of this was pretty bland. You don't get to see it. The version I watched, like the going in and the chomp, and when he rolls her over,
you don't get to see it.
It did look really cool. And then like wrapping it around his head and like twisting it.
It's a great concept for a kill. Yeah.
It was,
and it's
really
executed pretty well. We just don't get to see the final results because of the MPAA.
Damn you people.
That's what it is. But good. I think that's the most solid scene as far as the kills go. And then it's time to talk about it, you guys. Reggie the Reckless goes to visit his big brother Demon.
Great scene.
Guys, what do you guys think about Demon?
Dude, I love Demon is in Return of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah, Demon's in a lot of movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was great. I loved him and his girlfriend. And oh my god, I remember the time that Quincy serenaded me whenever I was pooping.
Dude, I cannot. I just literally cannot. So here's a funny story. The first time that Sarah watched these movies was with me. So she had never seen these, and she wanted to go on a marathon when we first started dating to watch all the movies, all these horror movies that I'm really into. So she wanted to watch it. So we're watching this movie, and it gets to this scene, and we both just cannot stop laughing. She's like, "Is he serenading her while he's pooping?" I was like, "Yeah." There's nothing sexier than serenading your loved, your spouse while taking a massive shit after you know it's a messy shit because you go, goddamn enchiladas.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
scene was so crazy.
I'll tell you a story at the end of this that
What do you guys think of this?
on air.
What do you guys think of this?
You know,
Well-
it felt like. Oh, go ahead, Lydia.
Well, first of all, I think like their relationship, like their brotherly relationship, is really adorable.
It
Like,
is.
he
Yeah.
gives him one of his rings, and like the way that he's like, "Where'd you get that?" And it's like he pans over to the girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and then
yeah.
he's like, and then he tells her to come over. It's like, "This is my girlfriend," and then it's just like, okay. It's just
Yeah.
such a cute interaction.
All of it is when he gives him the ring, and he's like, "This ring is bad,"
Yeah,
Nothing's too good for my little brother. Can I have this one too? Are you going to give me this one too? That's all charming and fun.
yeah,
And so you kind of like it. They do a good job of almost endearing you to Demon. You're like, oh, I like Demon. This is nice. And then they're like, oh, but we're going to undercut that by making him have enchilada shits and sing
Yeah.
to his girlfriend in the bathroom. And then you're just like, well,
weird.
don't care about this now. This is dumb as shit.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know this, and I don't know that anyone has ever said it, but I wonder if that was just like improvised on the day. Or like, well, where do we want to take this, guys? He's like, man, I gotta take a shit. I like it. It's the direction we're going.
I'm
that's
sure it was scripted.
I think they were thinking it was gonna get like a lot of laughs, and maybe it did, but it's really.
It's also
stupid.
awkward as
I mean,
fuck.
it was
Yeah.
hilarious. It was awkward and funny, and it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very quirky scene.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where it's like, that's not how real people act. That's not how real people act. Real people don't go and take shits and sing to their girlfriend. I don't think. I've never done that.
Dude, I tell you, the next time that Quincy has to go potty, I'm gonna go. You can tell I have kids because of what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna start singing. I wanna touch her all over again.
That's not a song, but that's a
The night closes in. That is.
what you should sing. Well, the words are that melody. I don't know what that was, but no. But what you need to sing is "Baby, Baby, Ooh."
Baby, baby.
It's
You know,
not-
I'm gonna give it a shot. What's the
They're
worst that could
both
happen?
singing. They're both singing different melodies with just the words "baby" in them.
Yeah, they are.
She's
They're both singing kind of different songs.
Yeah, she's like,
like they
"Hey,
clearly
baby,
didn't film together.
baby, hey, baby," and he's like, "Baby, ooh, baby."
Yeah,
And he's rocking while he's fucking shitting his brains out. Yeah, baby. And then he just calls her a bitch like 5 times.
yeah.
I did notice that.
You're gonna get it, bitch. And you're like, whoa.
Settle down.
First
Yeah,
of
calm
all,
down,
that
demon.
would. Yeah, let me tell you something, Demon. I would be sleeping on the old Calcharuno if I said that. What are you doing with your life?
I told Quincy to make me a sandwich one time, and
He
it didn't
did?
go over well. No, usually when I say stuff like that, she knows I'm joking, but she usually does give me a look like I will take a frying pan and hit you in the head.
So their
Dang,
deaths.
that just reminded me. Jake said something to me last night, and I was like, "Excuse me." What was it?
Oh, now I'm curious. What did he say?
It was something. Oh man, I'll have to ask him what it was. It was. He burned me pretty good, and I was like, "You're about to go to the couch."
Tonight, when I was watching this movie, Sarah comes in and she's like, "That's so loud." I was like, "It's fine." And I was like, "You always complain about how loud it is. Like, you're always so loud." And I said something around like, "Well, you're annoying." And she goes, "Excuse me?" I started laughing. I was like, "You heard me."
I
Gotta
think
go
he
upstairs
said,
now.
I think he said something like, "Are you gonna put it in your autobiography or something?" Because I was like
Oh.
bitching about something.
Oh,
And I
whoa!
was like, "Excuse."
So
But
that
I
one,
would-
Don't have some
he
fire
got it
behind
for
it.
me because I was being like really like temperamental all day.
Oh, I see.
I was being
So
real sassy.
He gets it honest.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, I was just giving your attitude back to you. That's all.
So Demon's death is actually pretty okay, right? I mean, he's in the portal shit. He's in the portal shit. The portable shitter getting stabbed with the fucking I don't know what that was. Just a pole of some sort.
It's like a
I got impaled.
Yeah.
a pipe.
Yeah. So he gets impaled by it. It's okay. She gets her throat slit off camera.
He's like, why did he go against the wall?
Because he
sees that thing.
Because there's no safe place, and he was hurt, and he just had to shit some more, I guess. So he just leaned against the wall. I don't know.
I mean, at that point, he hadn't wiped. He needed to sit down.
Yeah, nobody wipes in any of these Friday the 13th movies, by the way, guys.
They don't, man. They don't.
From this one to part 3, oh boy, shits. There's 2 people in this one that shit. This movie has 2 characters taking a shit. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong
with
this movie.
It's foreshadowing that it's a shitty movie. No.
Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
So guys, there's one thing we missed. We forgot to talk about before we move on to the end game here. We forgot to talk about a couple things. We forgot to talk about the waitress in the ambulance, or the driver that get killed. The waitress, their scene is literally pointless.
Yeah.
It's there just to pad the body count and to show some more titties. I mean, that's all it exists for. Yeah, that is the most... Right?
Yeah. Well, I agree.
What do you guys think of this whole scene? Lydia, what do you think of this whole scene?
I think I looked away because I don't even remember like the beats of it.
So remember, the guy pulls up to the thing and honks, and the waitress comes out, and they're going to go on the date. So she goes she goes back in, and then says it's showtime, and pulls out her boobs.
Yeah, and then just like chaos.
Dressed. And then he starts like doing coke in the car. So she so then he gets an axe to the back of the head that we don't quite see, but he gets an axe to the back of the head, and then she gets an axe to the stomach when she comes outside. Obviously it wasn't memorable for you, so
yeah, well, like I literally think I must have like had to like stand up and walk away for like that whole scene or something, because I came back and it was just like chaos was happening, and I was like, oh yeah, something. I probably will remember that, and I don't.
What do you think of this scene, Derek?
I mean, it other than just adding to the kill count, it really... And that guy, what was he? He was doing something weird in the car. Other than the blow.
Yeah, okay.
Other than the blow. It was just the way he like dropped it down from his seat. There you go, baby. Tuck you right in here, right there. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, and then he's like narrating it the whole time. He's it's gonna be. He's like, a forecast of heavy snow up the nose. You're like, whoa, whoa. And by the way, I don't know why that woman would have been into him. She's gorgeous, and he's...
I was thinking the exact same
creeper
thing. So she must just be addicted to drugs, because why else would...
Because he's like a weird creeper. It's not even that he's, ugly or something.
Have you seen everyone else that's around here?
That's true. But this guy is like balding and like as a Weasley little like pervert. So it's like, really? He's pulling that? Good on you, my man. Good on you.
Yeah. She's got a type.
Yep. It's freaking Weasley professional wrestling managers. So we got to talk about Junior trying to attack Tommy. This scene's fucking hilarious because
when he gets his ass kicked?
Yeah, so in between parts 4 and 5, Tommy learned karate as well as aged 12 years. So, guys, What do you think of this scene?
Why is he ripped?
Dude, he's super
Like-
ripped. When he has his shirt off in that one scene, I was like, man, that dude's in fucking shape.
Yeah. Yeah. And also cannot act.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You pick one or the other, I guess.
Yeah.
The scene with Junior, what do you guys think? First of all, it's super dumb
Getting his ass kicked.
because then
It's definitely dumb.
Tommy just runs off. It's
People
there
need
to
to just
make Tommy.
stop trying to scare Tommy.
Yeah, and it's
Because that's when they get their
nonsensical.
butt kicked hard.
Well, it's just kind of nonsensical that he just comes up to him and he's like, "You're one of this," and starts just shoving him, and you're like, "Okay, why? What?" And then he realizes, "Oh, you're one of those crazies. They're gonna kill you. My mom's gonna cut you up." And you're like, "Okay, wild." So he gets his ass beat and then runs off. Basically, the reason he runs off is so Pam has to try to find him, and he's out of the picture. So we might think that he's the killer because that's what the movie is trying super hard to make us think, that Tommy is the killer. Because every time a kill happens, we cut back to Tommy. So they're trying to subconsciously make us think, oh, he's the killer. But we're just not buying it because it doesn't make any sense. Logic, from where he is, from a logic standpoint, it doesn't make any sense most of the time. But so why does the killer go to the? I mean, goes to the Ethel's house to kill them. I don't know, but it happens. And what do you guys think of their death scenes?
Trying to think of what happens to him.
Oh, remember he's
on his
riding around
motorcycle.
mad on the dirt bike?
Yeah.
And he gets
I
decapitated.
definitely remember this scene from being a kid.
Yeah. Because he's just yelling, me.
Yeah. What does he say? He hurt me.
He hurt me, Ma.
Yeah.
He hurt me.
So annoying.
Yeah. It's and that's the point where this movie is so like loud and annoying. When that scene's happening, she's yelling at him, he's yelling, the dirt bike's going, just riding around in a circle for no reason, just riding around in a circle. And I'm just on the porch and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is obnoxious.
I just don't know what they were thinking when they were writing this.
What do you think about his death, though, the decap? Kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah.
The execution's not the best, but it's a fun idea. You didn't like the execution at all, did you, Derek?
So him being obnoxious and going around on his motorcycle, because you're just waiting for it to end.
Yeah.
So
something's gonna happen.
I liked that kill. I thought it was a lot of fun. Now you're right, like the execution is not the greatest, but I mean a lot of these are slightly mundane in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
her death, I think, is really bad. I think Ethel's death sucks.
Oh, you don't even see anything, right? You just see the axe going up.
Well, yeah, it's like the meat cleaver. Yeah, you see it come through the window, and then she just falls into the thing. Not the best. And plus, it's also nonsensical why he would smash the... It's fine. So then we get... Reggie goes to the house with the 4 remaining, or what is it? Yeah, 3 remaining teens. So there's Reggie, there's the stuttering guy, there's the redhead, and then there's the goth chick, Violet. Dude, so Pam leaves because the counselor, Matt, and Reggie's grandpa are both gone. They're missing. They're out to go try to find the 2 missing teens that were killed having sex. But guys, this scene is so awkward when he's trying to confess his love to her, right?
Yep.
Lydia, I want to hear your perspective on this scene.
Yeah, it's super awkward. super awkward. It's like it makes you just like, ugh. It's like you're like crawling, your skin's crawling. You're like, don't just stop. Please don't say anything.
Yeah, Robin is her name. Robin. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but at the same time, I feel like this is like some of the best acting.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
This guy and this girl, they both do a great job.
They do.
Scene. Even it's so cringy and awful to watch.
I will say, I do feel like she could have approached the rejection in a more considerate way than just laughing at him.
Yeah, I would guess. I'd guess so.
I'm just throwing it out there. She could. You don't want that girl anyway because she's not nice. She's a
she's not nice, but you know she is a redhead. So I mean, I think they're all for her.
Well, they're all like here because of like mental health reasons.
Correct.
And you have to wonder like how she was processing. What do you say, Derek?
Yeah.
I said a stutter is a mental health issue.
Well, you know, who knows? We don't really have any backstory for anybody.
That's what I'm saying. We have not all these characters are blank slates. His only attribute is that he stutters. Her only attribute is that she has red hair. You know, Violet has the most personality out of these, and hers is just that she's the goth chick. She's the punk chick.
Yeah.
And so
silly.
Let's talk about Violet's dance. Let's talk about Violet's dance. I know you guys are wanting to.
So here's a fun fact. Back in the day, I used to get so embarrassed. Like if there was a scene in a movie that embarrassed me, like I would like literally just get embarrassed. I'm not like that anymore. I'm like, whatever. This scene would have totally embarrassed me if I were a teen and watching this. I'd have been like, oh my god.
I know exactly what you mean. I hated that. I would get embarrassed from movies too, and from real life experiences. But Jake made a joke while she was dancing and was like, "Is this what you used to do in your room?" And I was like, "Hell no." No, I would not be caught dead doing that, and I would be in trouble from having my music up.
I've got to say, I have kind of an affinity for this scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, the dancing is weird and awkward, but I kind of like that she's weird and awkward.
Yeah, like that was cool then. Like it wasn't weird and awkward then; it was cool then.
I mean, it is weird and awkward. She's just dancing by herself like the robot. That is fucking weird. I don't think that's ever not been weird. I guess
practice for the club.
But what I do like is, and we'll get to it in her actual kill scene. Well, it is the kill scene essentially because he just gets the killer's just standing in the hallway there and just gets killed. A hatchet thing to the face. But hers, what I like about it is that she's just not paying attention. She's just listening to the music. And we've all kind of been there where we think we hear something. We turn and look, and you get that kind of heebie-jeebie feeling. Then you go back. What if there was somebody there? That's why I think it's somewhat effective in that. And I kind of dig the song she's listening to.
Yeah. That's what I think she's cool. Like, I think she's actually not. Like, what she's doing really isn't that weird at all. It's just strange now because nobody does the robot anymore.
Well, I mean, in the way she's doing, I mean, the fact that they're all, it's late and she's just, fucking in her room.
She's raving it up.
David comes in there to ask for help. Hey, I need to talk to you, Violet. And she's like, can it wait? I'm practicing my dance moves.
Yeah. Like, she couldn't have paused. Like, why couldn't she have just paused?
There is a man with no life in his eyes. There is a man with no life in his eyes.
Yeah, I really liked her hair, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's also beautiful and what have you. That would have been a girl I would have went for back in the day. No question. But, the song I think is actually kind of cool. I think it's a pretty cool song. But the death scene itself, lame sauce, weak sauce, stab.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there is a cool shot where we see the killer's legs appear. That's a cool shot. Derek, you hate this scene. Tell us more about why you hate it so much. Lydia, the dance scene here. Lydia and I were kind of like the whole scene we've been talking about this entire time. What are you talking about?
I thought you moved on. I thought you moved on.
Out.
No, I did not. It's not that I didn't like it because it just made me feel like I would have felt awkward. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I have better dance moves. I'm not going to display them now. Just trust me.
There is a man with no life in his eyes. Yeah. Weak sauce the kill though. Weak sauce the kill.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin's death. So we get another gratuitous nude scene. I'm not mad at you, Danny Steinman. Not mad at you. But we get another gratuitous nude scene where she just... sometimes girls sleep with no clothes on. So it makes sense that she's going to bed. So that makes sense that she's topless. What doesn't make sense is that she crawls into bed without realizing that there's a fucking dead body in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
because she has to face that way to get into bed. And it's not like a king size bed. It's like a twin bunk bed.
Twin bunk bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that it takes her so long to, to recognize that it's fun, you're just like, okay.
And she has this moment of like being like, I'm sorry, like whatever his name was.
David.
she's like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes I'm so stupid.
Yeah,
like,
why
she
did
just
I do
didn't,
that?
Yeah.
I have
kind of regretted.
My mental acuity is that I react to situations poorly, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Like
Violet's is that she dances horribly.
she's got that thing like that the Joker has where she can't control her laughter sometimes.
Yeah. Dude. So what if Violet was put in there just because somebody saw her mom saw her dancing?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's what
that's the backstory. That's it. I found it.
You know how like just back in like Victorian era they would just like lock you up in an asylum for like having women troubles or something?
Yeah, right.
I'm always thinking about that. I'm like, I would get locked up for this right now.
Yeah. Her mom walked in and she's like, there is a man with no light in her eyes. He's like, we've got to fucking lock Violet up in the mental health facility.
The demon.
We've got to lock her up with a psychopathic axe-wielding maniac, a guy who murdered a serial murderer. Like, she definitely belongs in the same camp as these people.
Yeah.
So,
this movie.
Yeah, so her death is actually not bad either, really. She has the whole... what is it? She gets stabbed from underneath the bed. Yeah. It's basically the same kill from part 1 and part 3.
Yeah.
It's the same exact kill. It's done better in those. We actually see we see the arrow in part 1, and then in part 3 we see the machete coming through. But it's the same kill. Like actually exactly the same kill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So then we get this back. So then we get the final chase scene between Reggie, Pam, who's our final girl, and the killer. Guys, Pam is the worst final girl.
Yeah.
Right? Of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, she's not...
This far, especially. Because she's nobody. She's just...
that's what I'm saying.
We know nothing about her.
We didn't establish a good connection with any of these people.
No.
Except for Tommy.
Yeah, and it's no knock on the actress or anything. Man. Yeah.
And I mean, do we even really establish anything with this Tommy?
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
like the only reason we know him is from the other movie, and this is like has nothing to do with that.
He literally could have just been
except the mask thing. The mask
thing we get to see.
But even that, he's like super weird about it.
Yeah, and he regressed horribly from Tom Savini Excellent Mask to these like shitty Halloween masks.
He's had a lot of childhood trauma. Okay.
Yeah. But so what do you guys think of the final girl circuit here? This whole in chase scene.
I mean,
before
I don't
Tommy
hate
comes.
Pam.
Well, I don't hate Pam either. I just think she's the weakest final girl because we know nothing about her.
Yeah.
She has no personality except that she is at the camp. We get to know Alice. We get to know a bit about Alice and her personality. We get to know a lot about Jenny because Jenny is the fucking goat of the Friday the 13th movies. So we know all about Jenny. And Chris, we learn a lot about. We learn about her past trauma. We know all this stuff. And then the Jarvises, we learn a lot about Trish and Tommy. We actually love those characters by the time this horrible things happen to them, and we don't want it to happen. Pam, if Pam got her head chopped off, I would feel nothing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Like just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She's nice, and that's it.
She's nice. That's it. Yeah. The tractor, reckless driving the tractor. What do you guys think? And knocking old Jason down.
Yeah. I guess the idea was that he was like blinding him with the light, and that's why he didn't just step out of the way.
That happens a lot in this movie. That's what happens to Tommy with the motorcycle. It's just like, and that's what happens with the one, the kid that gets the flare in his mouth. Light. They're just like,
yeah,
I'm frozen.
Guys, I'm starting to think this movie is maybe bad.
Yeah, you finally starting to realize that. So old Jason takes a fucking licking and keeps on ticking.
Yeah. And between that and him randomly being bald, which you see it at the end, like it's a mask, like it's
What? Where did Where did he have a Jason head sculpted?
Dude,
because you would think Tommy could do it.
Yeah,
we don't see anything related to Jason until like this part, like really late in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy probably made a mask, and I think that guy stole it.
There's a couple pieces
that's
here.
That's just an assumption you're making.
That is 100% an assumption I'm making, but it makes sense.
That's the kind of assumption the writers should have been putting in this movie.
Yeah, and they should have maybe shot that. Yeah.
A couple of connections for anyone, and then this connection probably would have like solidified it a little bit better for us.
I mean, it wouldn't have made it good, but it would have been not as shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to your point, he did take quite a licking. Like you think it's Jason.
Yeah, except that you see actual blood.
Yeah, you see blood and you see him struggling a little bit more than Jason would.
Well, you definitely start to see him struggle. Sarah walked in and she goes, "Oh, is this the one where it's not Jason?" And I said, "Yeah, do you remember?" She's like, "No, but he seems to be like, I can just tell." And I said, "Oh, because he's struggling?" She's like, "Yeah, Jason would just he'd just power through it, no problem."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's starting to he's slowing down after
Jake
he gets beat up,
like,
and then he gets stabbed by Tommy.
Yeah. Jake was like, "That's not Jason's mask."
That's correct.
Yep. I was like, you're right.
So, yeah, this ending is not the best. Production value wise, it looks good. It looks pretty cool, being in the rainstorm and everything. But I will say his demise, Reckless knocks him off the barn, and we think that he got impaled on those randomly placed fucking spikes.
Yeah.
he survives, and Tommy has to chop his hand off, basically. And he falls, and we get the reveal of it's somebody in a Jason mask, because, guys, that you cannot fucking tell that's Roy.
It's hard to tell. Yeah.
It just looks like a guy.
The camp, like the main camp guy, like being nailed to a tree.
Yeah.
You might have assumed
because they look
him.
very similar. Yeah, it's just really hard to tell with
and
his head's covered.
Is smushed, kind of, so like his eye, you can't really identify his eyes.
Are closed. His eyes are closed. If his eyes would have been open, then we could recognize the piercing blue eyes. But we didn't. So instead we get we're just like, a guy? So then in the wrap up, the sheriff has to explain it to us like we're idiots so we understand what's going on because it was
thank
poorly
goodness
written.
they explained something.
Dude, the best, I'm not going to lie, is that Roy has a picture of himself in his wallet. Because they were like, well, the audience doesn't understand that that's Roy. We better show him who Roy was. And so it's like, we found his wallet. Here's a picture of him. I started laughing every time. I'm like, yeah,
you guys don't keep a picture of yourself in there?
I keep a 3x5 right in there. And then he's like, and here's a picture of Joey that was taken at some indeterminate time because he's not seen him in fucking years. But somehow he's got this photo of Joey. So here's the backstory, is that Roy, after the mom died in childbirth, Roy was just abandoned him, but watched him from afar or whatever. And then when he snapped when he saw that his son was the one that was killed, even though he fucking abandoned him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's how
What do you guys think of the reveal of Roy as the killer and just this whole story? I'll sum it up for you.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. I actually don't hate it. I don't know why, but I'm just like, yeah, obviously that's the right reason. Like compared to the rest of this movie, I'm like, just show me more of this guy and that kid, like, I don't know why, but
well, here's the thing. We want Jason, and the audience was tricked into thinking that it was Jason.
Definitely.
And then it's just some random fucking ambulance driver with a very tenuous connection to the film. It should have just never have happened, right?
Yep.
Oh, makes perfect sense if you think about it.
If you just put Jason in this movie, it would be quite a bit better. I mean, there would still have all the same problems we have with all the characters, but at least we wouldn't have this shit ass half baked whodunit, right?
Yeah.
So Derek, you wanted to talk about the very end.
Yeah, because this is the second time that they have done this to Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Making him like, oh, he's going to turn into the killer. And now we don't know because the last time that didn't happen, I don't think, right? Did he actually kill his sister? No.
Well, no, he doesn't kill his sister. No. He just, the last one, it doesn't show him about to kill his sister. It just shows that he's like, there's a darkness inside of him now.
Oh, yeah, it was the like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I just...
Dude, I've got to talk about this ending because it fucking cracks me up. So after he has the dream that he kills her and he sees the hallucination of Jason, it's like Jason has entered him or whatever in this fucking stupid movie. And then we get my favorite thing, which is he goes over to the drawer, opens it up, and there's fucking Roy's mask for some reason in his fucking hospital drawer. Then when Pam comes in, he somehow has a fucking chef's knife. What? This has to be another dream. Has to be another dream. Because that logic makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know when you're chased by a killer.
Movie,
you know when you're chased by a killer and then you're hospitalized, how they give the killer's mask that's evidence and they just put it in your drawer.
You put it in your drawer. I personally have never seen a hospital put any of your possessions in any drawers. Like they just don't do that.
Especially possessions.
Maybe that's the new evidence locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone else's possessions at that. Or like not even your own. They usually just like put it like where you can see where it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be digging through the hospital's drawers to find your things. You would be contaminating everything.
This ending was horrible because what they were trying to set up, like you just said, Derek, was they were setting up Tommy to be the new Jason, which they tried to do twice. Audiences hated it. Nobody liked Tommy in this one. So when the third one is written, or I'm sorry, when part 6 is written, it's Tom McLaughlin just throws out part 5. He's like, "We'll throw some bones to it that it kind of exists, but I'm kind of throwing out all of the plot because it's Tommy sucks in that movie." And I agree.
Why
So, guys,
did they
that's
make him suck? Why did they?
Friday 5. Yeah, you're right, Lydia. And the only thing I can think is they wanted him to seem like he is capable of being the killer, so they have him like silent and stuff. But wouldn't it have been more impactful if he endears us to him again? We're endeared to him, and then that ending happens that he might be passing on. He's still dealing with his drama, right? Instead of him, like, I think he only has like 14 lines of dialogue or something in this movie. He says almost nothing.
It's true. Or that awkward scene when he comes to breakfast and they're like, "Hey, can you go wake up Chuck?" And he like stands there for like 45 seconds, not saying anything.
Yeah.
I related to him in that scene of just being like, I really don't want to. Like, do I have to? Or can I just be quiet and people will leave me alone?
I don't think that's quite what it was. It was, I'm awkward and don't say anything to anybody ever.
Yeah.
And then when his dialogue with Reggie the Reckless was also terrible. Like, he's just like, when he grabs his mask, he's like, "Well, you act like you made him," which is not something that somebody would just fucking say. And he's like, "I did make him." Like, oh my God, what? Okay. Sure. So guys, Friday the 13th, part 5. Where are we sitting with this? Are you looking up what we gave the other ones, Derek?
Yep.
That way we kind of know.
Oh, Friday. All right, part 4. We gave high marks to part 4.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it an 8. Lydia, of course, gave it a 10. Jamie, you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, it's my favorite Friday. Yeah.
And then 3, we gave 9, 9, and 9.5.
Yeah, these were, and then part 2, what do we give it?
Part 2 was a 7, 8, and 8.
And then part 1.
Oh, I don't have part 1 on here.
I think we gave him 7s. So all of these movies have been 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. So this is going to break that trend.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So, while this movie does have a ton that's wrong with it, some of the kills are pretty good. I think that the hillbilly lady is like the best character in this entire movie. Again, reminds me of someone I know. There's some, random nudity, but we can only make this movie better. Right. And I mean, I struggle, man. I want to give it a high mark because it's a Friday the 13th movie, but it was not a good movie. I'm struggling between a 5 and a 6. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with a 6. It has the history. I'll give it. Got a little bump there.
What do you think, Lydia?
I'm thinking this movie is more of a 4.
I am.
Yep. I'm going with 4. I think this movie really misses the mark on almost every single thing. Like, some of the kills were like barely good. Like, they don't even bring up the score at all for me. Like, I think the characters are pretty much all terrible. I don't know. This movie is a mess, guys. There's a lot that needs this movie needs work.
Yeah,
major work.
I'm right there with you. There's a fun factor to this movie. I mean, there's a fun factor to all the Friday the 13th. They're slasher movies. I just love slasher movies. The worst of them, I still love them. But yeah, I'm kind of in between both of you. I think this is a 5 for me, 5 out of 10. Because I don't hate it, but it's my least watched Friday because it's not as fun as the other ones. The other ones are more suspenseful. They have, even if they are cheesy, they're fun cheesy, and they have like great scores. The score in this one is one of Manfredini's weakest scores, I think. It does have the cool man with, no life in his eyes song. That song rules. But yeah, the problem for me is the characters all just suck. If this had a couple of pretty solid characters for us to follow, even like solid. I'm not saying great. I'm not saying we have to be Jenny Fields here. We could be Trish from part 3, and I would be like, okay, this is probably a 6. But with the characters, the kills being okay, and then just the random ass shit like greasers and fucking perverted ambulance drivers, and it's just like you said, Lydia, a mess. It kind of felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. It was stuck between two ideas. They wanted to, Jason, obviously, but they promised that it was a new chapter. So they're starting a new beginning, but they can't quite let go of the old beginning. So it's essentially the same thing, just watered down. It did so much that the next movie, they literally bring Jason back from the dead because they're like, well, we need Jason. So, and spoiler alert, we'll get there, but it's one of the best movies in the franchise. So
nice.
This one is a 5 for me. Guys, it's time to Atkinize this movie.
Thrill me.
Oh god.
Who would Tom Atkins
Tommy
play?
Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis.
Well, we have to have a major rewrite as well, right?
Well, yeah, because he's got so much character. Because that guy had absolutely fucking none.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would be true. It'd be better just to see. He would be a good. Yeah. The only character in this movie that I did like, I kind of liked Matt, the counselor guy, just because I'm like, fucking, Last Crusade guy. But the character I kind of like is the sheriff. I kind of liked the sheriff in this movie.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about him much.
No, but he was pretty solid, right? Died. Well, I mean, I liked his banter with Matt when you're talking about Ethel. I like the scene where he's saying that he thinks Jason Voorhees might still be alive. And then him investigating, and then when he does the breakdown at the end is pretty solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you guys are right. Yep. Sheriff, number 1 in this movie. So guys, that is Friday the 13th, part 5. All right, guys. So it's my turn to pick, and seeing as next week is the big holiday, Christmas, we are doing our 4th annual Christmas special, guys. 4 years we've been doing this. 4th Christmas special. So guys, we're going to wind the clock back all the way to 1980. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Keep going.
It was you. What did you do? That was wild.
What happened? I'm just sitting over here waiting. I'm in anticipation when we watch.
Okay. So we're going to wind the clock back all the way to 1980 and do the very first Killer Santa Christmas movie with New Year's with Christmas Evil. This movie is available on HiLa, Sling TV, Crackle, Plex, Tubi, and Lydia. Yes, it's available on Fubo. So that wraps up this week's episode of Friday the 13th, the new beginning. How was it? So next week, Christmas Evil. We will see you then. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, and we can't wait for you to watch it with us. So until next week, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.